Your person was once running away from you, distancing themselves emotionally and physically, but now it seems like they are rushing back, emerging unexpectedly from the shadows. This shift is not just a coincidence but a reflection of a deeper inner battle that they are experiencing. Unintentionally, you triggered something profound within them, forcing them to confront the inner demons they have been avoiding for so long. Their addictions, toxic habits, and unhealed wounds have been haunting them, but it was only after encountering you that they could no longer escape these harsh realities. You became a mirror for them, revealing the parts of their life that they had either suppressed or ignored, parts that were holding them back from true growth and happiness. By bringing their attention to these dark corners of their soul, you inadvertently pushed them to embark on a path of healing. This wasn't something you consciously intended, but through your presence and energy, they became aware of the toxicity that had been festering within them. For a long time, they chose to run from this healing journey, retreating from your influence, because it's easier to avoid pain than to face it head-on. However, the inner turmoil and conflict became too overwhelming for them to continue ignoring. They now realize that the very thing they were running from, healing, is exactly what they need to achieve peace. Your decision to step back and stop giving them your time, energy, and attention has hit them harder than they ever anticipated. They were so used to your constant support and presence that when you withdrew it, it felt like a sudden void opened in their life. It's as though you were the one stable element in their chaotic world, and now that you've shifted your focus to loving and nurturing yourself, they are left feeling disoriented and lost. This sudden lack of attention from you has left them in complete shock. They didn't expect that you would ever choose yourself over them, and this realization has thrown them into a state of confusion and frustration. For them, the most frustrating part is that they now crave the love and energy that you once so freely gave. They miss it more than they're willing to admit because that love provided them with a sense of security and comfort that they can't find anywhere else. No matter where they go or who they turn to, they realize that no one else will ever love them the way you did. It wasn't just the love itself, but the way you handled their energy, their complexities, their moods. No one else ever understood them or accepted them as completely as you. This is why they feel like there's no one else on this entire planet who could ever compare to you. You made them feel seen and valued in ways that they hadn't experienced before, and now that you've pulled back, they feel an aching absence. As they navigate through this period of emotional upheaval, it's becoming clear to them that they need to free themselves from the stagnant situations they've been stuck in for so long. Perhaps they are even having nightmares, vivid dreams, or receiving signs from the universe urging them to break free from the chains of their unhealthy habits and stagnant lifestyle. The spiritual awakening that is unfolding within them is tumultuous, and it's likely that they're experiencing a mix of confusion, fear, and longing. During this awakening, the one thing they keep coming back to is you. Despite the inner chaos they are grappling with, you remain the one constant source of comfort and understanding. Even though you've stepped back to focus on yourself, the impact you've had on their life lingers, and they cannot escape the realization that you were, and perhaps still are, their guiding light. This period of awakening is not easy for them. They are being forced to confront parts of themselves that they've long buried, and it's an uncomfortable and painful process. But even in the midst of this internal storm, you continue to represent a beacon of hope and healing. Your ability to handle them with care and compassion during their darkest moments is something they cherish deeply, even if they haven't always shown it. You were the one who brought them comfort during their lowest points, and they are now beginning to understand that you played a pivotal role in their journey towards self-awareness. While they may be rushing back toward you now, seeking the love and comfort they once took for granted, the dynamic has changed. You've chosen to prioritize your own healing, to give yourself the love and attention that you deserve, and that choice has shifted the balance of your relationship. They are frustrated because they no longer have access to your love in the same way, but this frustration might be the catalyst they need to fully embrace their own healing process. It's clear that your influence on their life has been transformative. While they wrestle with their inner demons and navigate through this period of awakening, you've shown them that true healing comes from within. They may return to you seeking solace, but ultimately, the path to freedom and peace is one they must walk on their own. If I could turn back time, if I could somehow find a way to undo all the damage, I would take back every word that ever hurt you. I didn't realize how much weight my words carried or how deeply they could wound you. I never intended to cause you pain, but in my confusion and struggle, I allowed hurtful words to slip through. You, who gave me so much, who opened me up and breathed life into me, didn't deserve that. You made me see the world differently. You brought light into my life in ways I had never experienced before. Yet, I wasn't ready for change. I was too scared, too stuck in my own way of living, and because of that, I resisted. There were things I needed to release, old patterns, emotional baggage, and deep fears, but I didn't know how. It was a process I didn't even fully understand at the time, and because it wasn't easy, I shut down. I thought I could just keep going with my 3D life, with all the routines and distractions that kept me grounded in the material world, but in doing so, I missed the most important thing, you. You were the one I always needed the most, but I couldn't see it because I was so preoccupied with things that, in hindsight, seemed trivial. You, my love, were there, offering me everything I could have ever wanted, but I was blind to it. I know now that I didn't give you the time, the care, or the love that you truly deserved. Where I should have opened my heart, I instead relied on logic. I thought I could think my way through things, solve them like puzzles, but love isn't something that can be solved. It's not something that can be approached with a logical mind. You showed me unconditional love, and instead of embracing it, I overanalyzed everything. I was so wrapped up in my ego, trying to protect myself, that I didn't appreciate the incredible love you were offering me, completely and without expectation. I can see it clearly now. You were my emotional fulfillment. You were the one who made me feel complete in ways I never thought possible. Nothing and no one could ever compare to the sense of peace and joy I felt when I was with you. Your presence brought me a sense of belonging that I can't even describe. I didn't realize it then, but I understand now just how rare and special that is. Being without you has shown me that. You have no idea how much I'm hurting now that you're gone. Every day feels empty without your presence. To be honest, you were like a warm, safe blanket, wrapping me in love and comfort. But I felt, deep down, that I didn't deserve that warmth. I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't worthy of the love you were giving me. So instead of embracing it, I pushed you away. It's like I was testing you, seeing how far I could push before you gave up on me. I intentionally created distance, thinking it would make things easier, but it only made everything harder. I thought if I made you hate me, it would hurt less in the end. I thought it would save me from the pain of losing you because deep down, I believed that's what would happen eventually. But I was wrong. So very wrong. I regret all of it now, every single moment I spent trying to push you away, every time I kept myself closed off from you, and every time I hurt you with my words or actions. I thought I was protecting myself, but all I did was sabotage the best thing I ever had. I miss you so much that it feels like a part of me is missing. There's this emptiness, this ache that won't go away, because I know what I lost. I know now that you were everything I needed, and I let my fears and insecurities blind me to that truth. If I could turn back time, I would do things differently. I would embrace the love you gave me instead of running from it. I would open my heart instead of hiding behind my ego. But I can't change the past. All I can do now is live with the regret and hope that somehow, someday, you might forgive me. You were the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'll always be grateful for the time we had, even though I let it slip away. Your partner is currently immersed in a deep state of reflection, contemplating everything they had and everything they lost in a relationship with you. They're feeling a profound sense of sadness and regret, emotions that have only intensified in your absence. For a long time, they failed to recognize the significance of the love and care you gave them. They didn't take the relationship seriously, and now, as they sit alone with their thoughts, the weight of their mistakes is becoming unbearable. What they once took for granted has now become a void that nothing else seems able to fill. It wasn't until you were gone that they began to fully grasp the depth of their actions. They've come to the painful realization that they let go of something truly precious. Your absence has allowed them to see clearly how important you were in their life. They had the opportunity for true love, something that many people search for their entire lives, and they squandered it. This realization is devastating for them. They never knew what real love felt like until they met you, and when they finally had it, they didn't appreciate it. Instead, they took advantage of it, assuming it would always be there, never imagining that you would eventually leave or that they would be left alone to face the consequences. Now, they're overwhelmed by the realization that your love, care, and presence are irreplaceable. In the past, they may have chased after material success, status, or other external achievements, believing those things would bring them happiness. But now they see that none of those things can compare to what they had with you. No amount of money, success, or material gain can replace the warmth, understanding, and emotional support that you brought into their life. They are beginning to understand that true fulfillment doesn't come from external accomplishments, it comes from deep, meaningful connections with people who care about us. They are feeling the loss of that connection profoundly, and it's making them rethink their priorities. Your partner is watching you from a distance now, and they are struck by the change they see in you. Your energy, once perhaps more turbulent or reactive, now seems calm, peaceful, and self-assured. There's a vibrancy about you that wasn't as visible before, a lightness that suggests you've done a lot of personal growth since the two of you were together. Whether you realize it or not, the work you've done on yourself, both emotionally and mentally, has made your aura more appealing and attractive than ever. You radiate a sense of peace and contentment, something your partner is keenly aware of. This transformation in you has made your partner even more aware of their own shortcomings. They can see that you're no longer the same person you were when you were together. You've grown, evolved, and healed in ways they hadn't anticipated. While they've been stuck in a cycle of regret and sorrow, you've been moving forward, becoming a stronger and more self-assured person. And it's not just the inner changes that are visible to them, they also notice how you've been setting healthier boundaries. You're no longer as willing to compromise your well-being for the sake of others, especially for someone who doesn't bring clarity and genuine intention to the table. This, more than anything, has left them feeling both inspired and anxious. They realize now that if they want any chance of rekindling what was lost, they have to come to you with a clear and sincere intention. Gone are the days when they could approach you half-heartedly or without truly understanding what they wanted. The person you've become demands more respect and authenticity, and they are fully aware that they need to rise to that level if they want to be part of your life again. Your partner feels like they're at a crossroads. On one hand, they want desperately to make things right, to win back the love they so carelessly let slip through their fingers. On the other hand, they know they have a lot of inner work to do before they can even think about approaching you again. They see the transformation in you and realize that they must undergo their own transformation if they ever want to meet you on equal ground. Your calm energy, your healthy boundaries, and the clear direction you seem to be heading in have made it clear to them. They can no longer come to you with empty promises or uncertainty. Ultimately, your partner has come to understand that their future happiness and emotional fulfillment are tied to the lessons they've learned from this relationship. They now realize the value of what they had with you and know that if they ever want a chance at earning it back, they need to approach you with the seriousness, respect, and clarity that you deserve. Only with clear intentions and a true understanding of love will they be able to bridge the gap that has grown between you. Until then, they remain in a space of deep reflection, understanding that the love, care, and presence you provided were irreplaceable,